I thought he was gone forever. Officer Daniel Hayes had forced himself to believe that lie because the truth was too painful to carry. 1 year ago, a warehouse explosion had shattered everything he knew. Fire, metal, screams, and then silence. Daniel survived, but not without a cost. His legs never worked again. His canine partner, Rex, was listed as missing, presumed dead. The department told him no dog could survive a blast like that. They held a memorial. They handed Daniel a folded flag and a small metal tag engraved with Rex's name. He accepted it with shaking hands and broke inside. Rex wasn't just a police dog. He was Daniel's partner, his shield, his constant shadow. They trained together, fought together, and trusted each other without question. Rex had saved lives, including Daniel's, more times than he could count. Losing him felt like losing half his soul. Months passed in a blur of hospitals, therapy rooms, and sleepless nights. Daniel traded his uniform for a wheelchair and his purpose for silence. His apartment stayed painfully quiet. The leash still hung by the door. The empty food bowl remained untouched in the corner. Sometimes late at night, Daniel swore he could hear paws on the floor or a soft bark drifting through memory. But morning always came, cold and empty. The world moved on. Daniel didn't. On a rainy afternoon, his former partner, Mark, insisted on pushing him outside for a follow-up appointment. Daniel didn't argue. Rain streaked the sidewalks as they passed a bus stop wrapped in fogged glass. Then Daniel froze. His chest tightened. His hand gripped the armrest. Inside the shelter sat a dog. Curled. Motionless. Thin to the bone. Mud soaked into tangled fur. For a second, Daniel thought grief was playing tricks on him again. He had imagined Rex before. But something felt different. The shape. The posture. The way the head rested low like it was waiting. "Mark, stop," Daniel whispered. Mark hesitated but slowed. The dog lifted its head slightly. Just enough. One eye caught the light through the rain. Gold. Familiar. Impossible. Daniel's breath broke. His heart pounded so hard it hurt. "No, it can't be," Mark muttered. The dog's tail moved. Not fast. Not happy. Just a weak, trembling wag. Recognition. Tears flooded Daniel's eyes. His voice cracked as he whispered a single word, the one name burned into his soul. Rex. The dog tried to stand. His legs buckled and he collapsed against the glass with a soft, broken sound. Daniel leaned forward in his wheelchair, shaking violently. Every instinct screamed at him that this was real. He knew that head tilt. That defeated curl against the cold. Mark stared in disbelief as Daniel pushed closer, rain soaking his sleeves. "It's him," Daniel whispered. "I know my dog." Mark swallowed hard. "Danny, he was gone." They said, "They were wrong," Daniel said. The shelter door creaked open. The dog flinched, then lifted his head again as Daniel whispered his name once more. Slowly, painfully, the dog crawled forward and rested his head against Daniel's legs. That was all the proof he needed. Daniel collapsed into tears. The dog was starving. His ribs pressed sharply against his skin. Burn scars stretched across his side, old and angry, carved by fire and falling debris. One ear carried the same small notch from a training accident years ago. Daniel's hands trembled as he touched the dog's collar. The faded K9 tag still hung there, scratched but intact. Rex. Mark exhaled shakily. My God, he survived. The dog whimpered softly, pressing closer as if afraid Daniel would disappear again. "I've got you," Daniel whispered. "I'm here." They rushed to the car and sped to the nearest emergency vet. Rex's breathing grew shallow. His body felt frighteningly light in Daniel's arms. Each breath sounded like a struggle. Daniel begged him to stay awake, to hold on just a little longer. At the clinic, staff moved fast. Oxygen. 4 fluids. Monitors beeping. Daniel sat helplessly beside the table, watching his partner fight for every breath. The veterinarian finally approached, her expression heavy. "He's critical," she said gently. "Severe malnutrition, old fractures, internal strain. He's been surviving on instinct alone." Daniel's voice shook. "Can he make it?" She hesitated. "We'll do everything we can. Tonight we'll decide." Night dragged on endlessly. Machines hummed. Rex lay wrapped in blankets, fragile and still. Daniel never looked away. He talked quietly, telling Rex about the empty apartment, the leash by the door, the nights he waited. Near dawn, Rex's ear twitched. His eyes cracked open slightly. The heart monitor steadied. The vet rushed in, astonished. "He's responding to your voice," she said. "That connection is keeping him alive." Daniel pressed his forehead to Rex's gently. You came back, he whispered. You never gave up on me. And for the first time in a year, hope returned. The news spread quickly through the department. Officers came in quietly, some with tears in their eyes, others shaking their heads in disbelief. Rex was a legend, a K9 written off as dead. Now he was breathing because he heard the voice he trusted most. Days turned into weeks. Recovery was slow, painful, and uncertain. Rex barely ate at first. His body shook when he tried to lift his head. But Daniel stayed. Every hour. Every night. He talked to Rex about old missions, about sunny mornings they used to patrol, about the life waiting beyond these walls. Slowly Rex responded. A longer breath. A steadier heartbeat. One morning, his tail moved when Daniel entered the room. Daniel laughed through tears. That's my boy. The vet was amazed. Emotionally, he's healing faster than expected, she said. He has a reason to fight. After 3 weeks, Rex stood for the first time. His legs trembled violently as he leaned against Daniel's wheelchair. Daniel placed a hand over Rex's chest, feeling the steady rhythm beneath scarred fur. Easy, he whispered. We'll take it one step at a time. Rex took 2 shaky steps. The room erupted in quiet cheers. 2 months later, Daniel made a decision. He asked Mark to drive them back to the warehouse ruins. The building stood silent and broken, blackened by fire and time. Rex stiffened as they approached, then moved to Daniel's side. Together. At the center of the wreckage, Daniel stopped. Memories flooded back. The explosion. The bark. The silence. I thought I lost you here, Daniel said quietly. Rex stepped closer and rested his head on Daniel's knee. Forgiveness. Understanding. Closure. Daniel exhaled deeply. Let's go home. Weeks later, sunlight filtered through a park as Daniel rolled along a quiet path. Rex walked beside him, stronger now, tail wagging softly. They stopped by a pond, ducks gliding across the water. Rex lay down and rested his head on Daniel's leg. Daniel smiled. I won't lose you again. Rex answered with a gentle lick. Peace settled between them. They had survived fire, loss, and time itself. A new chapter had begun.